I don't know what to say, really.
I know football. What you did with those boys. You were the right man for the job, Coach.
You're Hall of Fame in my book.
Now, let's analyze what's been working for us. Not a goddamn thing's been working for us. Like this goddamn suit doesn't work for me. And this stinking tie, and this goddamn shirt, it doesn't work for me.
I'll tell you why you don't have your $10 million yet. 'Cause right now, you are a paycheck player. You play with your head, not your heart. In your personal life, heart. But when you get on the field, it's all about what you didn't get, who's to blame, who underthrew the pass, who's got the contract you don't, who's not giving you your love. And you know what? That is not what inspires people.
This is your opportunity
For
here.
you. Playing football at West Canaan may have been the opportunity of your lifetime. But I don't want your life.
I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's gonna win that itch. And I know if I'm gonna have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that itch. Because that's what living is. The 6 inches in front of your face.
You know how to play winning hard-nosed football? You play football like a Gennaro played football. A guy who gave his life for this football team. He was a 140-pound halfback, and he played like a goddamn wild man. No, like a goddamn rampaging beast. And that's the way you gotta do it. You go out there, you tear their fucking heads off, and you shit down their necks. Let us pray.
I'll see you in L.A.
No heart. No heart? I'm all heart, motherfucker! Utah. Give me 2.
2 L's Tuesdays, we're live. It's Mikey V and Mikey G. Hey, how about that? That's a new one.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, you like that? Okay, cool. Let's rock it going forward. I'm ready to do this. It's 7 o'clock on a Tuesday. Week 2's in the books. Week 3, we've lost our Chubb. It's gone. We're not getting it back, are we?
No, not this year at least.
Now, I'm actually confused with, by the way, live chat's open. Let's do this. Let's rock and roll. Bring your questions. I know you guys are good. You'll start out slow, I'm sure, and then people will just start filtering in, and they'll start shitting down our goddamn necks with endless questions, and that's exactly what we want. So that's fine, okay? That's what we want. Get that in. But, Mike, you're wearing orange. Let's go. That's right. But I don't think you're trying to mock the Cleveland fans. I think it's actually a tribute to your baseball team. Isn't that right?
Yes, sorry. That was not intentional for those of you guys who have Nick Chubb shares or you're a Cleveland Browns fan. So sorry about that.
Yeah.
That's putting it mildly.
I got to tell you, DFS Monday night is a doubleheader. They did week 2 instead of week 1, like we talked about last week, because they know week 1's a joke, which is still better than a preseason game, as we discussed. But I was thinking, I'm not feeling Nick Chubb tonight. It just seems too obvious. In DFS, sometimes it seems like an obvious play is too obvious. You want to go with a cheaper play. And I really wanted to play Jerome Ford. I didn't put him in the lineup, and it would have worked out great in DFS last night. But for season long, yeah.
I was actually really, really close to adding Jerome Ford yesterday, kind of as a last minute, just like, hey, just in case Nick Chubb gets hurt kind of thing, at least I get ahead of everybody else before he goes to waivers. And I almost did it and didn't pull the trigger. Don't get me wrong. Sad that Nick Chubb's out because I do have one share of him out of my 6 leagues. But yeah, it was a really, really gruesome injury. So
That's the game. That's the fucking game.
Yeah. That's the game. That's the way it goes. Hey, look, your buddy's here. Pick 2, Madison, London, Kyron Williams. We're off and running with Mike's brother giving us a little boost. Thanks, buddy. Shout out to you, which I will momentarily. So why don't you start off? You're the brother. You know best.
Well, I think he's looking for your advice, Gov, because I gave him my answer already, and I want to see if you match my answer here. So this is a non-PPR league. This is my brother and I play, and my brother and I play in this really, really big home league with our childhood friends here. So he wants to know which of these 2 to start. I gave him my 2. What are you saying here?
Well, looks like Kyron Williams absolutely the guy you want to have for sure. That's one. The other It's not PPR. I'm going to go Madison over London, only because it's not PPR and the Vikings are 0-2, but that doesn't mean anything in fantasy. What matters is that Madison has a job and he could score rushing touchdowns still, and that offense still could play even if Minnesota's not very good this year.
Yeah, I was kind of torn between Madison and London. I said Madison as well. That game should be a shootout, too, between the Vikings and the Chargers, because neither of them can play a shit worth of defense. So I'm thinking that'd be a high-scoring game. I haven't even looked at the lines yet, but I do think if I had to guess, I'd say that's probably one of the higher point totals of the week.
Yeah. Injuries can show up at any given moment, In 2 weeks, things could change.
2 weeks.
2 weeks from now, who knows what'll happen? 2 weeks. But this is a tribute right here. I'm going to play this one for Nick Chubb. You know this one, Mike? Is this a little too? Are you a little too tad too young? You're not that young. Are you a tad too young for this one?
Is this Tecmo Bowl?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Tecmo Bowl injury music.
Right.
When your guy got hurt and he was being helped off the field. Yeah, this would be playing. So I hope it ends soon. It should end momentarily. Everybody. Tribute, Nick Chubb. We miss you. Lost our Chubb. All right. Well, we got a bunch to get to here. Live Blotto Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's. Make sure you do everything you're supposed to do. Follow us, subscribe. We got the Discord 24/7. It's in the description. And we got a Patreon. Starts at $3, okay? And I failed today. I should have had my rankings updated for today, and my life was so busy. I did not. We'll have it for tomorrow, though. We'll have it for Wednesday. Yeah. Our updated weekly positional rankings, every position plus matchups for defenses and all that stuff. So it's everything you need to know. Look ahead, updated injuries, depth chart improvements. All of it will be there, right?
Yep, absolutely. Rankings will be up. My rankings for week 3 will be up tomorrow. So if you guys are looking for that, make sure you guys check that out. And again, Patreon's only $3. It's the price for freaking coffee. It's actually less than a coffee if you're going to Starbucks. So that's more than free.
Yeah, and you spent twice that in one day at Starbucks.
Yeah, and not to mention, too, there is no price tag on a fantasy football championships where you can stick it to your buddies, right, and come home with the trophy.
That's right. Stick it to them, right? That's the game.
That's the game.
That's the game.
That's the fucking game.
Dom Caboose said you should always add the backup running back for Sunday night or Monday night games if you have the chance, Mike. That's what he's telling you.
Thank you. Hang on. Let me grab a pen and paper and write that down.
That's putting it mild.
That's a good one. I do it everywhere I can. I have an open roster spot and a guy that is droppable. Your buddy says London won't touch it if Atlanta is up. That's true. That's how I see it.
Run the shit out of it.
Yeah. Oh, you get a brother discount? Free? Is that this is a discount code, free.99. All right, so before the questions roll in, who are your top ads this week right now? I mean, obviously, Jerome Ford's a big ad. Matt Breida, there's questions. Will Saquon Barkley play Thursday Night Football? Quick turnaround for the Giants after the miracle, not at the Meadowlands, no, the miracle in the desert, which, by the way, I won money on that one because I just took the over. When the Giants were down 28-7 or 24-7? Yeah, I just took the over live line early on when they got down early. I didn't know who would win. I was a little paranoid about Arizona falling apart, and they did. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know they'd pull it off like that, but happily took the live line on the over, and that played out just fine.
Hit the applause button on that one, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, $250, man. It was a four-team parlay, a 4-leg parlay winner. That's what you get. My betting picks also on Patreon, college football, NFL. We do everything. I mean, if you're covering the sport in detail, it all intersects. Betting, DFS, season long, it all connects in the end.
I was going to say, people get that if they pay $3 a month. They could have hit $250 with you, right? So,
wow, yeah, come on, join the party. Although I got to post my bets more frequently in the Discord live for the live bets. But yes, you're right. So, who you got this week?
So obviously Jerome Ford is the number 1 back for me this week. If you have Nick Chubb, he should have already been rostered, but again, he's number 1 for me on that list for is Jerome Ford. 2, a lot of people are going to be rushing out to get Matt Breida, and I think he is worth a add to your bench. I don't know if he's somebody I'm starting right away. But again, Barkley is saying according to Dayball, he woke up feeling a lot better today, and he's day-to-day. I don't think he plays this week on a short turnaround, but Breida should probably be owned given the injury history behind Saquon Barkley. And then my third running back this week is, and probably I would put him higher than Matt Breida, so he's number 2 on my list, is Zach Moss. I went out and got him prior to Sunday, well before Sunday's game. as a block to the guy that I was playing this week. He started Deion Jackson, who got a big old whopping 0. And now I'm happy I got that. So yeah, Zach Moss, a lot of people are going to say to me, Mike, Jonathan Taylor's coming back. Aren't you afraid that he's going to eat into Zach Moss's carries? I think Jonathan Taylor's going to get traded, and Zach Moss will have season-long value. So, again, he's probably number 2 on my list behind Jerome Ford. So those are my 3 running backs, but I want to give you your give you your thoughts, too. Who are you adding as a top ad this week?
Oh, that's a good one. Get these. Go away. Good God. Ads are killing me. There's Zach Moss on your page here live. I'm going to start putting our football shows on the podcast, by the way. Our podcast feed, Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's.
Utah.
But I wanted to get the YouTube a little bit of a bump first here and more of the live stuff just to get us connected. But yes, I will be putting them in the podcast feed going forward. So yeah, Zach Moss, that's a great ad. It's a great call. What can I say about Zach Moss other than he is the guy right now, and it's not even that close? So it's arguable that he could be the priority ad of the week, even with all these injuries and such. Oh my God, these ads are killing me on here. Like, just go away. Leave me alone. I'm going to turn that off. Nice try, football database. But I think Jerome Ford's the guy I want the most. I do.
Yeah, same. Especially in that offensive line, too. He looked great yesterday against a really tough Steelers front. And again, I know there's rumblings about Kareem Hunt. And actually, my brother and I were just talking about it earlier today. He has Kareem Hunt. He's been stashing him. He drafted Kareem Hunt and is hoping that he signs with Cleveland. Schefter tweeted out earlier today that he was in Cleveland for a meeting. So I don't know if they'll let him leave without a contract. He knows the offense. He knows the team. But Hunt's really everywhere he's been, other than his time with Kansas City, outside of Kansas City, he hasn't really shown us to be that 3-down back. So I think he's going to be able to split some time with Jerome Ford, but I think we'll see mainly in the passing down work. But both backs should be owned. If I had to rank them, I'd go Ford first, then Kareem Hunt if he's not owned in your league.
Yeah, I'm Ford all day. I talked to my Cleveland buddy preseason. We were comparing players we liked, just our favorite players this season in the NFL for fantasy football.
Yeah.
And he's a Cleveland guy, but he's also a big pessimist. And Jerome Ford was he was like, yeah, I love Jerome Ford. I don't care what happens with Chubb this year. He's going to be, obviously, he's getting the keys to the kingdom now with the injury, but he loved him regardless, and I respected his opinion, and that just moves to the top of the list for me. I mean, Matt Breida's a guy who could be serviceable. Eric Gray is a rookie that the Giants drafted in the NFL draft this past season. Maybe he gets more in the mix too. And then Zach Moss, if he's available, of course, he's a big ad. That's really no doubt about it. I really misread that Texans-Houston game. In Indianapolis was just ready to ball out. Anthony Richardson totally got screwed. He comes out with 2 quick rushing touchdowns, gets a concussion. He goes bye-bye. And Indianapolis still wins on the road anyways, rather easily. But, talk about ads. And we talked about this on the show, and I told you I loved him, and I was wondering, would the breakout finally be happening? But I kind of was late to the party because I gave up because it was post hype. And that was Nico Collins. It's 7 catches, 180 yards, and a touchdown. And I feel bad for you. I'm not trying to call you out, Mike, but we're just always honest. Please. I saw somebody tweeted at you, Nico Collins or somebody else after the fact. I love Dobbs. Oh shit. See, that's just bad luck. It can happen to anybody. Yeah. Nico Collins also, it was garbage time. Like CJ Stroud was just throwing garbage time in the second half, and that's going to happen. You can't predict a game script like that either, but this is very real. Nico Collins is very talented. If he's healthy, this is the real deal. I'm locking him in as a must-add, and I know he's still widely available.
And it's crazy, too, because, and I know the tech, I don't need to tell anybody this. I think everybody knows this if you follow football, even the slightest. The Texans are going to be behind a lot in a lot of games this year. They're just not quite there yet, and they're going to be throwing a lot. They've actually thrown in the 2 weeks that we've seen thus far, they have thrown the ball the 4th most out of anybody in football this year. So, mainly because their offensive line is extremely banged up. They're missing 4 offensive linemen, which is the reason why Dameon Pierce hasn't been doing very well. So if you own Dameon Pierce, or I'm staying patient, and if you are looking for a buy low target, go get Dameon Pierce. Their offensive line will get healthy. Hopefully they'll be able to see a little bit more work from him, but it might be a little bit while.
Okay, maybe it's a game script thing, though, but Pierce only had 45% of the snap shares over the first 2 weeks here.
Yeah, I think that, and again, that's a great point. And again, like I said earlier, it's mainly because the game script, they had to throw, and Singletary's probably the better passing down back out of the two, I would say. But it's worth noting too that again, four offensive linemen. Not only is Nico Collins a solid add, but Tank Dell as well, who we talked about on this show, is another solid add as well. So if he's available, he's segueing into my wide receiver ads. My top three are Tutu Atwell, Nico. Well, if Nico Collins isn't owned, he's number one for me. But Tutu Atwell, Tank Dell, and then your Bozo Lions, Josh Reynolds.
Yeah.
All right, he has looked good. Caught 2 touchdowns this week. So those are my 3 wide receiver ads to add this week in that order. Again, if Nico's not owned, I'd go him number 1. 2 would be Tutu Atwell. 3 would be Tank Dell. And 4 would be Josh Reynolds.
Why do you love Tutu? I mean, Puka.
Yeah,
it's Puka Fest 2023 here. So,
and it's worth. Yeah, I totally understand that, and a lot of people are, and we'll get into that a little bit too, because I do want to ask you your opinions on that. But it's even in all the targets that Puka has gotten, right? In 2 games, Tutu Atwell has seen 17 targets. He saw 8 targets in week 1 and 9 in week 2, right? And then I know he's got a matchup with Cincinnati, but week 4 and week 5, juicy ass matchups. He gets Indy and then Philadelphia, who are down 2 of their top corners. So I like him from just a target aspect of it. He's good to have, and just like running backs are with volume, targets are the king here with wide receivers. So I like Tutu Atwell as an ad.
Time for our reality check. I mean, peep the tape, says BTC. Last week we said Zach Moss over Gus Edwards. He balled to end the year last year. Well, what can I tell you? I mean, Gus Edwards is a guy that just doesn't die. And the Bengals losing that game, boy, I was just so convinced. I have such trust in Joe Burrow, Mike. I believe in him so greatly that I was just certain that they were going to win that game against the Ravens. But no, your Ravens get it done on the road. Lamar Jackson, like, very efficient and also very powerful still as a runner, 12 carries, 64 yards, but no picks, right? The turnovers aren't there, and he looks just like he's locked in, and Joe Burrow looks lost.
I think Lamar Jackson may have got a whiff of our show and said to himself, you know what? Mike Virginia is talking shit. I got to go out here and show him what's up here. I was surprised how efficient, how good he looked in some of these throws that he made. I believe it was his throw to Nelson Aguilar, which is another guy that doesn't die, I feel like. But the dude looked great. And I was really, really shocked and happy to see it as a Ravens fan. From a fantasy aspect of it, maybe he's making me eat my words. I don't know. The defense was very, very shaky. I did have some shares of T. Higgins in my home league, which I was very happy to see him catch 2 touchdowns and have a nice bounce back game. Nice. But yeah, Lamar looked good.
He did. And, you're talking receivers here. I don't want to jump the gun here. I don't want to get too carried away. I want to remain calm. I want to chill to the next episode, as they say, or used to say in the 90s. Well, it was a long time ago. But I think it's important that, Tutu is a guy that could be useful. I agree. And the targets are there, like you said. But with Puka, I mean, good God. Our guy, Chad Simpson, who's been our hardcore Palazzo Discorder, he's done baseball shows for us on the Twitch channel here at Palazzo, and he now works at Quarterback List. He's a writer over there. So, shout out to Chad.
Give me 2.
Because Puka is a legend after 2 weeks, and I thought it was going to be a fluke. I really did. I thought it was a 1-week wonder, but he's here to stay, Mike, I think.
Yeah, and even with Cooper Kupp coming back, I did ask this question out on Twitter, aka X. If you're not already following me, make sure that you do here at MKB Fantasy. I had this poll here out earlier today. It seems to be a very mixed bag here in terms of the fantasy community here, in terms of what you're doing with Puka, right? A lot of people are saying, hey, sell high. His value is never going to be higher. And then there's also folks on the other side of the fence that say, hey, he's here to stay. This guy's legit. He's going to have value when Cooper Kupp comes. I don't know if we're going to see the massive target share that we've seen from him this far in the season. But at the same time, too, if you own Cooper Kupp, right? I mean, the hamstring injuries linger, right? He's got nerve damage, right? So we have no idea how long this is going to last. We hope that he comes back in week 5. But at the same time, too, again, I think I'm with you. I think Puka's legit, but I also want to say this as well. I'm not trying to play both sides here. I would entertain offers for Puka and to see what you can get for him. If you could get somebody like a round 2 or 3 talent, would you be looking to make that deal, Govier?
Great job.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe he'll fade out. He's a rookie, the rookie wall, that shit. But that could happen later. This also could just be a Sean McVay and the Rams. They know what they're doing. They're very smart. They're so smart that they even know when they kick a field goal that they are getting the win for their home base when it comes to gambling. Don't be fooled. Sean McVay knows everything. He's not a moron.
He's so full of shit. Yeah, he's so full of shit, what he said earlier.
Yeah, he's so full of shit. I love Sean McVay, but even he knows he has to lie on that front. Do your thing, Sean, whatever. I had a -7, so it was a push. Whatever, I'll live with it. But I think Puka's a guy that is going to continue to be a factor, and I wonder if Kupp will be that much of a factor this year. I mean, this hamstring thing is no joke. It's no joke. And what I heard this, I got to give full credit to Cousin Sal from Against All Odds, of course, Bill Simmons and Jimmy Kimmel Show. He's what it said, is Cooper Kupp a system wide receiver? Because it looks like someone else could just step in and take over. By the way, Matthew Stafford, everyone dismissed him. They said he's done, too many injuries. But the whole year off for Stafford, Mike, very refreshing. I know Matthew Stafford. I mean, he was a Lion forever, okay? My Bozo Lions, who shit the bed against Seattle. So hilarious. I can't believe I bought into this. It's so stupid. I know Jared Goff sucks. I said it in a tweet even the night they beat the Chiefs. But Matthew Stafford is never given that much time to rest. And I think it's that. Just as much as Puka being a good talent, I think Stafford being refreshed here is a huge benefit. So whoever's out there, that's why I like the Atwell ad, because I think everybody is in play for the Rams from a receiving standpoint.
Yeah, totally agree with that front. And then actually, it's funny you mentioned that, because I literally just thought of this as you were talking. The Rams are a lot better than people think coming into the season, even with the loss of Cooper Kupp. Between Tutu Atwell, obviously Puka Nacua, Kyren Williams has looked phenomenal. Stafford, after that whole year, it looks like he's back, right? They have Tyler Higbee. They still got Van Jefferson. They got some playmakers, right? So I'm not saying that they're, the Rams are a Super Bowl contender, but I think they're a lot better than people think, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
Got some live chat really pumping here, so I want to get a few things in. Untamed Music just traded Mostert. Big game for Mostert Sunday night. Najee, trash. Love, Jordan Love, still solid. Garrett Wilson, oh, man. Tough times over there. Justin Fields, trash. Gainwell, your thoughts? So you traded Mostert, Najee, and Love for Garrett Wilson, Fields, and Gainwell. I like selling high on Mostert because he's old. He could get hurt and could be unreliable. In 6 weeks, Jeff Wilson could be the starter there, or even Devon Achane could be involved, right? Najee Harris, I think, is trash. I really think Jalen Warren's going to take this job, and it might be over. You agree?
100%.
I like Jordan. You 100%? I like Jordan Love. I'd like to hang on to him if I needed to, especially if it's a super flex, though. But getting Garrett Wilson, Fields, and Gainwell, that's solid. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's a solid deal. I'd be looking to get rid of Najee as quickly as possible. I'm with you. I think Jalen Warren. I mean, if anybody watched that game yesterday, I mean, it's night and day how much better Jalen Warren looks in this offense compared to Najee Harris. He's just a plotter. The guy just trucks over people. He gets 2 or 3 yards a carry. Completely inefficient, and Jalen Warren is a lot better out of the backfield from a pass catching aspect of it. So especially in PPR formats, if you can flip Najee now, I mean, because his price tag is going to continue to skyrocket down. So Mostert for I go in this side by side here. Mostert for Garrett Wilson, give me the Garrett Wilson side. Fields for Love, kind of a toss up for me. I'd rather have Love probably than Fields, but Fields does give you the rushing upside. And then Gainwell for, who am I missing? Najee. I'd have Gainwell over Najee too, but it remains to be seen how the Eagles are going to use that backfield now with DeAndre Swift's performance. So
Swift is God. Oh yeah. BTC saying Najee, Trent Richardson 2.0. I know where you got that. I heard Matthew Berry say that about a month ago. I'm just saying, BTC, just be honest if that's where you heard it, because I don't think you made it up yourself, because I've heard that one. I still love you, BTC. Thanks for being here. Also says, don't be hating on your guy, MJ. Goff ranked number 4. Quarterback. Oh, in fantasy, Goff is great. I used Goff in DFS lineups. I had a real solid weekend of. I didn't win any contest, but I just made money in many contests thanks to Goff. But in real life football,
Yeah, I actually started in my home league over Kirk Cousins. So I have both those guys as my quarterback, and I started him over Cousins. I was scared of the Philly matchup on Thursday Night Football, but in our league, Goff was only fell 5 points short of Cousins. So I love Jared Goff from a fantasy perspective. I don't know if he's the guy in real life football, but
we'll exactly. See. Yeah, see, exactly. That I couldn't have said it better myself. Great job.
Great job.
Great job. We're live here at Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's. Subscribe, like the video while you're here. Come on, you guys know how this shit works. It's not your first time. BT says, PFF real life football rankings, Goff number 4. Yeah, I get it. I'm with you, man. But
yeah,
that's not, I don't buy that. I don't buy it. I'm sorry. I know he can do play action, and the offensive line makes Goff better than he really is. I just don't trust him to be the guy who can take you to a championship. If that's the goal here, I think the Lions are trying to build that. We saw it with the Rams, Mike. I mean, Goff got them to a Super Bowl, but they couldn't win the Super Bowl, and they immediately said, hey, could we have the guy in Detroit, and we'll give you Goff and 2 first-round picks, and they won a Super Bowl. I mean, who came out on top of that? The Lions are looking good right now, but they still are growing, and the Rams have a Super Bowl.
Yep, absolutely. And again, it's worth noting, too, Stafford, at this point in his career, yeah, he's probably in the back 9, but looking pretty solid this year again. Hopefully those injury concerns are past him. So,
look, with Fields, by the way, in that trade, everyone's shitting on Justin Fields right now, Mike. That's fine. He should be shit on. He's not playing well. But the Bears are not going to turn anywhere else here. They've invested in Fields, so he's not going to lose his job. And there's going to be better performances, better matchups for the Bears down the road. I mean, if we want to pull up the Bears schedule real quick and think about what Fields has coming up here, because, the Bucs defense is legit, Mike. I mean, it's a solid defense. It's no joke. And Green Bay's defense isn't terrible. I mean, that's a solid D.
Yeah. While you're doing that, did you see the video of, I think he was in shotgun set, and he goes through all of his reads and progressions, and I believe it's DJ Moore that's lined up on his left, and Justin Fields goes left, goes center, goes right, and then he just runs it like 3 yards and gets tackled. It's literally the funniest video on the internet. But they shoot to DJ Moore, and he's open in the flat. He just kind of runs like a little curl route or an out route. And DJ Moore's sitting here like, what the hell just happened? Why did you just do that? Why didn't you throw me the football? So, he's not playing well. But again, somebody like Justin Fields, I know, again, the defenses for Green Bay and Tampa Bay are a lot better than people thought going into this. I mean, if he's not getting it done with his legs, he's not going to give you much from a throwing aspect of it. So his value really relies a lot on him rushing. And again, I think better matchups are ahead, especially with that week 6 starting with Minnesota and Las Vegas. But I think he's got some tough matchups coming up with Kansas City. I don't mind too much.
No, their defense is good. Kansas City's defense, I mean, they really shut down Jacksonville on the road. It's impressive. I think their defense is not elite, but it's going to be a challenge for Fields on the road. There might be some garbage time opportunity there. Then Denver's a nightmare. We saw what's going on there with that Hail Mary and Russell Wilson. Total bozo fest over there for sure. Sean Payton's shitting his pants right now. Washington, okay defense. Washington's defense is solid. Minnesota's defense horrible. Vegas defense not very good. Chargers defense. So there's some opportunities here after the KC. There'll be some opportunities for Fields here to produce. So I like adding Fields. I think that's a smart move.
If you know that you don't have a quarterback, would you be looking to buy low on Justin Fields at this point, given the first 2 games?
Yeah, I would. Especially, I mean, super flex for sure. I'd love to have Fields. There's no doubt about it. Your brother here, last year, coaches say Fields just does whatever he wants on offense.
Yeah, they don't have a playbook. It's backyard football with him. It's crazy. Like, if you actually watch him actually play football, don't watch the box scores. Literally watch him play. That's a fair statement.
Yeah, he does. Brian's here. What's up, Brian Andreas? Good to see you back here with us on the Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's. What do you think the Rams do with Akers? Well, everyone's talking trade, Mike. Yep. But didn't they want to trade him last year and then they worked it out? I mean, what's going on here? Every year it's the same shit.
It really is. And we talked about this last time on last Tuesday's show too. I mean, the Rams did have rumblings out of around this time last year that they liked Kyren Williams when Cam Akers was kind of like ghostly inactive for and they were using Darrell Henderson. Everyone's like, what the hell is going on? They really liked Kyren Williams, and it's now coming to fruition. And then randomly he comes out of nowhere and he, starts balling out again for the Rams. So I don't know if there's something behind the closed doors that we're not being made caught up to speed with, but there's been rumblings I've heard, especially on Twitter today. The Ravens were maybe
This is an old bit with Miguel Cabrera that Avisail Garcia was once upon a time the Detroit Tigers' baby Cabrera, baby Miggy, and that he banged Miguel Cabrera's mom. We've heard that one in that instance. We've also heard Delonte West bang LeBron James's mom. There's a lot of somebody bang someone's mom on the team stories. I don't know how many are true. I'd like to believe they're all true, but your brother says Akers boofed McVay's old lady. So I'm going to lock that, and there you go. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I've seen rumblings of the Ravens, the Bucks, and a couple other teams, the Dolphins.
The Giants were thrown in with Saquon possibly being hurt.
Browns now could potentially be suitors for them as well, even though I don't think that's.
But they don't need. Yeah, they don't need it.
No, I do think he gets traded. Just like as a football GM, let's put that hat on for a second. Would you be looking to add a guy like Cam Akers to your league or to your team? I'm looking around the league and I'm trying to think of like, can anybody really benefit from a guy like Cam Akers right now over what you currently have?
No, remember, legendary week 1, 22 carries, 29 yards, y'all. That really happened. Yes. So get the hell out of here. Cam Akers, you don't have any leverage, my friend. And in negotiations and in demands, when you rob a bank and you hold up a bunch of hostages, what's your leverage? Well, we're going to kill the hostages. Okay, you got leverage. If you go rob a bank and there's nobody in there and you say, hey, we're going to blow up the bank, you're like, okay, we're just going to raid it because there's no risk here. And if you die, we don't give a shit. That's Cam Akers.
That's right. Yep. And again, I don't see him coming into, back into the Rams. I think they finally said enough's enough. They want to get out of him. So,
yeah, I don't think there's much of a price at all, BGC. I really don't. Brian says Vikings, maybe. No, they know Madison. They went in. They had a plan here. In football, especially, the plan is going to be stuck with much more than other leagues because this is not as easy. It's like with Wilson in New York, right? With the Jets, everyone's like, hey, let's get Kirk Cousins in there. Hey, let's get Tom Brady in there. It's not that simple, man. Zach Wilson's the quarterback they had to rely on in a worst-case scenario because of what they run and how systems work in football. It's not like NBA where you just show up and you can bomb 10 trays without knowing any of the playbook, right off the bat.
And it's funny too, and another guy that I want to mention here from a running back segment for a waiver wire aspect of it, if he's not already owned, and I do think he's going to get more work moving forward, Ty Chandler, the rookie for the Vikings, is going to get more work coming up. So again, if he's somebody that's not owned in your league and you own Alexander Madison, I would be looking to put in a claim for him just in case. There's a couple times that he blew some pass blocking opportunities and got Cousins shelled. So, and he has not looked efficient yet. Not to mention too, can we all just pump the brakes here? It's only week 2, guys. All right. Jamar Chase sucks, right? Clearly he was a bust first round pick. Wink, wink. Right. Like give Alexander Madison some time, but I still would be adding Chandler wherever he's available just in case.
Absolutely. Let me fire this up for you, give some quick hitters, see what you have to say, see what everyone has to say about these players who might generally be available. This is one of my Yahoo leagues. By the way, I love Yahoo. See, look, I just want to show players, stats. Look how organized and simple this is. Yahoo is free. Still get the job done. I got to give Yahoo respect. Put some respect on that name. Top of the board here. Brandon Johnson. Yeah, he had some lucky breaks, but the unknown Denver wide receiver had 2 catches, 66 yards, 2 touchdowns on 3 targets. I mean, that's highly efficient. Scored 20 points, at least in this fantasy league in week 2. Brandon Johnson, a fluke?
Yeah, fluke.
Yeah, I totally agree. A total fluke, unless we see him get more targets, which I don't see. They got a lot of wide receivers they like in Denver. Total fluke. Yeah. Weird-ass game. Nelson Aguilar, your boy, he said he never dies. I think he's a fluke here. Again, there's a lot of other receivers in Baltimore that I like more than Aguilar. Maybe I would add in a super deep league, maybe.
Yeah, he's not somebody I'm looking to add. We've seen this before. He flames out for a couple games and then he shits the bed, so.
Oh, also the other injury. So the other injury we didn't talk about was, Jamal Williams of the Saints got hurt last night with the hammy issue. Tony Jones comes in, scores a couple touchdowns. Not very efficient. Obviously, 12 carries, 34 yards. Tony Jones, are you adding him right now with the Alvin Kamara returning after week 3 and the rookie Kendra Miller? Maybe he can give it a go in week 3.
Yeah, Kendra Miller's got a hamstring injury himself, so we don't know if he'll be back this week. But again, I'm not really high on Tony Jones. If you absolutely, in the deepest of leagues, if you need a flex or a running back desperation play, I could see maybe adding him, but you're really only going to be using him for week 1 or 1 week until Kendre or Alvin Kamara come back. So I don't really have much interest in him.
Agree. Khalif Raven and my Bozo Lions. He just had the one touchdown. It's a fluke. You can't rely on him. Chase Claypool, total fluke, right?
Yep.
Dontavian Wicks of Green Bay. I mean, Jordan Love is spreading it around. We got all kinds of receivers showing up each week. You never know who to trust. Not interested, right?
Nope, not interested.
See? Now, here's a name, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. Now, this is a guy who shows up during the season. Now, the Titans are a run-heavy offense, right? But he's a guy that Tannehill seems to like. There's a lot of mouths to feed with DeAndre Hopkins being there now, and of course Treylon Burks. And my guy Conquo he had some moments on Sunday. Like seeing that from Tannehill, signs of life from Tannehill. By the way, I believe in Tannehill now again. Week 1, I'm willing to dismiss as just a fucking nightmare from hell. But
hit the awe button real quick. I want to hear the oh.
Yeah.
Back in on Ryan Tannehill, huh?
Great job.
I am. Because he's got a lot. Tennessee is a run-oriented offense, Mike, but they got a lot of weapons in the passing game that I really like. I keep getting drawn to Okonkwo and Burks and, of course, D-Hop. I'm like, man, there's a lot of talent here.
Yep. And if you guys watched our show Sunday, I was concerned about DeAndre Hopkins and he did not come out. I don't know if he was 100% healthy, but I played against him in my home league. I was happy not to see him do well, but moving forward, there should be brighter times. And it's worth noting Ryan Tannehill scored a fucking rushing touchdown too, which he can give you from time to time. So I always like that little Jordan finger roll thing that he does when he gets in the end zone. I think that's always really cool.
Week 3, the Titans have Cleveland on the road. That's going to be a grinded out nightmare fest probably. So I don't love adding Westbrook-Ikhine for this one, but going forward, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Baltimore, there's a couple of matchups where maybe he's a streamer. He's a guy to look at, like a week-to-week matchup, maybe a guy you could sub in for injuries. That's what I'd like Westbrook-Ikhine for.
I agree with that.
Latavius Murray, he got a touchdown, whatever. Buffalo ran the shit out of the ball, Mike. And
they did.
I don't know who it was on Sunday. Someone said, "Hey, James Cook." I'm like, "No, the Bills never run. I don't want to start James Cook," but they shoved it in my face on Sunday. He had 17 carries, 123 yards. That could be the changing of the guard.
I was going to say, I want to pick your brain on this too. With how much they've ran the ball Sunday, do you think that they're going to start to be a little bit more balanced on offense and not put the ball so much in Josh Allen's hands? Because the guy's been awful, really. And they ran the ball down their throats. They used all 3 backs. They used James Cook. They used Damian Harris. They used Latavius fucking Murray. We talked about this earlier on in the show, too. This is the number 1 guy that just doesn't go away. I feel like this guy's been in the league for years, right? And he's resurfaced here in Buffalo. So I didn't even know he was on Buffalo, to be 100% honest. I had no idea this guy was even in the league.
These guys are always hanging around, man. Never say die. Never go away. That's what I said, changing of the guard. I mean that. I really do. I think Sean McDermott after week 1's like, I'm done with this shit. And him and Ken Dorsey got together and said, you know what? The only way to get the job done here is for us to run the ball and literally take it out of his hands by calling more run plays all the time until Josh gets the message. By the way, one receiver did benefit. Gabe Davis showed signs of life. That was nice.
Yes, he did.
He did.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. Davis Comeback Tour 2023 is underway. A&J Films up in here. What's up, dude? Let's see one of your films, by the way. Send us a link. We'd love to see one of your films. We'd love to support our fellow people, subscribers, whoever you are. Either way, should I trade Josh Jacobs for CD? Fuck yeah.
It depends on what the rest of your league looks like. Yes. Or what your team looks like. Yes, I'm that guy. But at the same time, too.
No way, dude. Come on. What's the problem? What's the holdup? What's the specifics?
I love CD, and in PPR formats, 100%. The guy just gobbles up targets. And I mean, 15 targets is great. Josh Jacobs, though, again, I mean, it's only week 2, and depending on what the rest of your running backs have been fucking depleted, right, through 2 weeks. So that's why I'm saying, like, make sure that you look at the rest of your team. Like, once you lose Josh Jacobs, are you plugging a guy like Zach Moss as your starter, which is serviceable, but he's not Josh Jacobs. So if you're hurting a receiver, and this obviously makes a lot of sense. I actually saw an interesting tweet too, and everyone's like, hey, dude, at this point in the season, grab guys like Zach Moss, grab guys like Justice Hill, Gus Edwards, and load up on receiver. Right, because and I guess the point of his tweet, I can't remember who said it, was we're going to start seeing more and more running backs get hurt. Load up on these receivers; they're more reliable, whatever it may be. I don't know what his point was, but to buy high on receivers moving forward. So I like this move. There's really nobody he's competing with in Dallas in terms of the target share. So CeeDee Lamb, good at it.
I'm all about, I would do this every possible moment I could do it. I would dump Josh Jacobs for CD. I don't care if it's PPR or not even. That's how much I love CD. That's how much I'm not on Josh Jacobs 2023. Quick follow for, lock it in. Yeah, okay, there you go. Quick follow from him. Would you do Amari for Jordan Love? I hate Amari Cooper. I think he's so overrated, but every time he goes out there and Deshaun Watson loves him. So I would actually hold Amari Cooper for Jordan Love unless it was Superflex.
Yeah, I agree with that take wholeheartedly.
Okay, BTC says, no, Love could be league top 5 to end the year. What does that mean, league top 5 overall or a top 5 quarterback, BTC? I love Love, but I think the love is getting a little bit too much of a love in.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a reach for me too. And keep in mind too, just want to make this point, and I know, and you should know this, Aaron Jones was out, right? And again, they want to run the football. They want to use Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon as a tandem here. They want to run the football. They want to maximize what Green Bay is doing is what they should have done with Josh Allen. They want to maximize his opportunities, not put him in position to turn the ball over, run the shit out of the football. So
excellent Chappelle Show references by your brother. Nice job.
Yeah.
I'm going to lock those in.
Great job.
Cunnybo's here. Connybo. Hey, Cunnybo. That sounds like Cuntybo. Hey, Cunnybo.
Yeah.
Connybo. Sorry, Connybo. I traded McLaurin, D Swift, and 30 fab bucks. I got Olave and Tyler Boyd. I love Olave. He's like, he's like CD. CD and Olave are like literally my top 2 receivers this year, I think, if I think about it, actually. But giving up McLaurin, Swift, and the 30 bucks, if Swift could be hit or miss, right? We've talked about this. McLaurin, he was pretty solid. The turf toe might not be as big a deal now. He might be getting through that. Things are looking up. I love Sam Howell. I have him all over the place. This is a tough one, Mike. This is a tough one for me.
Yeah, I just don't like the Tyler Boyd side of this. For me, he's kind of just like an afterthought. So really, for me, this trade is McLaurin, DeAndre Swift, $30 worth of fab to get Chris Olave. I just think that's too rich for my blood. I'd probably hold that left side.
I'm also assuming that's $30 on a $100 budget, not $1,000 too. That's a lot. Yep. That's a big chunk.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I love Olave. Would I give up McLaurin, Swift to 30 fab bucks? I might. I actually might, especially if it's full. It's got to be 1 point PPR though, for sure. It has to be.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing too. Like, I get maybe trying to sell DeAndre Swift. His value is never going to be higher than this game that he had right here. And who knows what it looks like when Gainwell comes back. But boy, it's tough to get rid of him.
Also, he made that trade. He wasn't even really asked. Well, he asked our thoughts, but that trade's already been done. So there's no going back on that, Connie Bo. Kyoko's here on the Palazzo Podcast. Non-PPR, your favorite, Mike, your all-time favorite, non-PPR. Drake London or Nico Collins rest of season? This is the debate now? Oh my God, it's already come to this. After 1 week, one garbage time outing for my boy Nico Collins, he's now being compared to Drake London.
And both are on the wire, and he needs a wide receiver. Wow.
Yep, because somebody is that anti-Desmond Ridder last. They're like, I'm out. I'm dropping Jake London after week 1. That's what they did.
Yeah. I don't know how to say this person's name, Kyoko. I would find a way to get both of these guys on your team, make it happen, find a way. But if you're asking me to pick one between the two, it's still Drake London for me. I'm sorry. Especially after his performance that he showed on Sunday. Better days are ahead. Once Desmond Ridder gets a little bit more comfortable in this offense, Drake London is a stud. But I would be doing everything that I possibly could to add both of these guys.
Kyoko also wants to know what were our thoughts on Dameon Pierce. We talked about him earlier in the show. You guys could always watch this anytime. By the way, if you're watching this after the fact, make sure you subscribe and like the video if you're watching this 4 days after it happened. I am actually thinking of benching him. Let's pull up real quick here so we can look ahead, because we want to talk clearly about what's going on with week 3. We don't want to be morons. Yeah. But I am concerned, as I said, about the snap share, but it was also game script dependent, so we can't panic. I know Mike said that he was still down. He wasn't freaking out. Right?
Yeah. He's down 4 offensive linemen. I mean, like, they're just not going to be able to do much when you're missing 4 starters. You do that to any NFL team, it's going to be tough sledding, especially for a team like the Texans, who added back in Devin Singletary as well to help out with the passing down work. So as you can see here on the screen, we got it up on the Palazzo Podcast YouTube channel. If you guys are following us along here, we have Dameon Pierce's game log up. He has not been efficient. He got the Baltimore Ravens week 1, 11 carries for 38 yards, Indy 15 carries for 31 yards. And it's tough sledding again coming up against Jacksonville at Jacksonville here. So I do. Go ahead.
The Texans. they have Jacksonville's number, especially in Jacksonville.
Yep.
Take a look at the last couple of years. Weird shit. I know one of the years were Urban Meyer related, so maybe that's not fair, but there's something about the Texans playing in Jacksonville that brings out the best in them. Maybe Pierce gets going this week against that Jacksonville defense.
Yeah, I'm actually brought this question up on my Twitter as well. Again, if you're looking at a guy like Zach Moss or Damian Pierce, who are you starting between the two?
I'm starting. I'd probably go Moss off the top of my head, but I might have to look at the matchups more specifically.
Yeah, Moss is at Baltimore this week, and then Pierce is at Jacksonville. Both are kind of in the same boat for me. It's a tough one, but at the same time, too, I actually like that take. I didn't even think about that, but missing 4 offensive linemen, I need to see it before I'm willing to feel comfortable starting him. If I have better options, I'm probably sitting Pierce until he shows me something more.
Okay, that's fair. I'll lock that in. Next couple, by the way, after Jacksonville, Pierce has Pittsburgh at home, at Atlanta, New Orleans, and then the bye. Not exactly a free-for-all, like, oh, we're going to dominate those defenses. Those are some solid, maybe not elite, but definitely run defenses that are at least going to be like, I don't know, maybe I don't want to start Dameon Pierce today. So I'm a little concerned about Pierce right now. I want to see them get consistent. I want to give DeMeco Ryans a chance to settle in as new head coach there in Houston, Mike. I was really, I thought they were going to ball out for DeMeco. Really surprised and disappointed by the lack of, I don't know, fire or preparedness even for week 2 at home debut for DeMeco Ryans, former Houston Texan, now the head coach, especially defensive guy. A little concerned.
Yeah. And especially in a division matchup, and Anthony Richardson came out, so Gardner Minshew came out and started slinging it. I was a little shocked by that too, especially for how well they played against Baltimore. So,
yeah. Oh, your brother agrees with you. Go get London and Nico Collins. Go get both. Yeah. I was shocked. They both agree. Connie Bell says that fab budget was $200. Oh, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a $200. I've seen $200 auction budgets, $260, but not a $200 fab budget. Okay, so 30 of 200s. What's the math on that, everybody? You guys are smarter than me. Your boy BTC, Jordan Love has thrown for a touchdown on almost 12% of his passes this season. It's high as the NFL. Just saying. It's 2 weeks, man. Come on. I love Love, all right? Don't make me shit on Love. What are you doing to me, BTC? Why are you making me shit on Love when I love him? Damn.
I was going to say, I think that just to be clear here, I just want to make sure that our stances on Love are clear. We're not saying that Jordan Love is not a bad quarterback. I'm just saying the comment of him being a top 5 quarterback by year's end is a little bit of a stretch, at least for me. I'll speak for Michael on that too. So it's not saying we're out on Love. It's just, again, we just need to see more. It's only 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's all. Come on. That's all we're saying. That's all. Stain lifter. That's all. All right. We're getting close to the end of the show here. Anybody else we haven't mentioned, Mike? Anybody else we want to get? Anything else we want to get on the record here before this week just flies by? Next thing you know, it's Thursday Night Football, and it's like, oh shit, it's Sunday.
Yeah. My boy, and then again, I was actually surprised I wasn't getting hit up on this, so I'm glad that people didn't do this yet. David Montgomery looked a lot worse than what he came out with. My boy, David Montgomery, if you've been following me or living under a rock, you know that I love David Montgomery here.
It's true.
Came away. He kind of got like that alligator roll tackle, and his leg got caught up, and he came off the field with the trainers, got put on a cart. Everyone thought it was a knee injury. It's actually a thigh bruise. I've never played football before in my life competitively. So again, it's one of those things too, where maybe it's a lot worse than I think, but Montgomery after the game said it's a couple weeks thing, that he thinks it's going to take him a couple weeks to recover. And then Dan Campbell came out and said it's a day-to-day thing. So make sure you guys keep an eye on practice reports. I doubt he plays this week, but if he doesn't, make sure you have other options. And then another guy I wanted to talk about is a waiver wire ad. If he's not already owned, is Hunter Henry of the New England Patriots. So if you guys need a tight end, he caught, I believe, 2 touchdowns on Sunday. He's a guy that I'd be looking to add. I think he's the number 2 tight end overall.
He caught 1. He's got 2 on the year.
Got it. Okay, that's what it was. I love him in the red zone. Again, he's a serviceable tight end. Is he this good? I don't know. They've played 2 shitty defenses in the the Eagles and the Dolphins.
Well, Philly's defense. Well, okay, Philly's defense is good. Maybe they're not performing right now, but they're good.
They were down 2 corners too, so it's worth noting that. But at the same time, too, he gets the Jets week 3. He's a guy I like as again pretty safe floor at least through 2 weeks. He's getting the targets 6 or 7 weeks for 6 or 7 targets for a tight end is pretty solid. And you hope that he's be able to at least give you that floor of 5 to 6 points with those yardages and hoping for a touchdown. So
you want to go against that defense? You want to go against that Jets?
No, I'm saying if you need a tight end, I'd like him the most at anybody on the waiver wire that's
okay,
available.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. A little concerned. His next two matchups are the Jets and the Cowboys on the road. That's not fun. But I'm going to have to investigate. Just because there's a good defense doesn't mean that they're dominant against a tight end. There's always holes in even the best defenses. So I'm going to take a look at points per game so far, first 2 weeks on fantasy points per game per position by team. That's going to be something to take a look at. But I like Henry's a great ad. I was going to recommend Kendrick Bourne. He's still 42% on Yahoo. Still widely available. He's 20 targets already. Yes, he didn't produce as much in week 2, but he had a ton of targets. Mac Jones just sucks. But yeah, they're going against the Jets and Cowboys next 2 weeks, so maybe I'm... Now, I love Bourne no matter what. I don't care. I think you just add Bourne because he's going to be the guy there all year. He's like their best or most dynamic playmaker in the wide receiver core, in my opinion.
Before we get into this next question here, really quickly, I just want to get your thoughts because you're the Lions guy. Do you have any interest in Josh Reynolds?
Yes, I do. I'm glad we went back to that. I know we brought it up, then we jumped into some other shit because the live chat's just a bumping tonight. Love Josh Reynolds now. With Amon Ra being the guy that can be... I don't know, they could double team him. They can make it more difficult on him. There's nobody else that they could really rely on. Sam Laporta, I like, but he's still a rookie. He's coming into it. Looks like Josh Reynolds, though, has come out banging, and Jared Goff has been looking for Reynolds. Some big gains, big plays in the Chiefs opener, I noticed, where Reynolds was targeted, especially on the go-ahead touchdown drive, I believe. And then the 2 touchdowns here against the Seahawks. Yeah, it's a high-scoring matchup, but I think Reynolds is absolutely like the other guy here as a wide receiver, 100%.
Yeah. Rank these wide receivers in terms of priority. Really quickly. Josh Reynolds, Tank Dell, Tutu Atwell.
Reynolds, Dell, Atwell. I'm gonna go Reynolds, Atwell, Dell.
That's how I have them ranked as well.
Yeah. Mike says, check your Discord DMs. I just did. I don't see anything. You got something for me? Because oh wait, did I miss it? Oh,
he sent me a DM.
Oh, you're Mike. That's right, because we're both Mike. Steven here. Sorry, Steven, we have your question up. Let's rock it. Oh, by the way, BTC wants to say on Reynolds, Goff safety blanket from the LA Days connection is strong. Yep, I agree 100%. In a full PPR 12-man redraft format, do I give away Nico Collins and Elijah Mitchell of the 49ers for Javonte Williams of the Broncos and Hollywood, who's, Hollywood Brown, remember him? My running back situation is Henry, Bijan, and my wide receiver room is Evans, Terry, Judy, and Thomas. 12-team, full PPR, giving away Nico Collins. But you get Hollywood Brown.
I'll probably make this deal. I like Javonte Williams. I think he's the best player in this trade. When you guys are evaluating trades, it's important to remember too who's the best player. So that always holds some weight. You're getting the best player in Javonte Williams here, in my opinion. I know some AJ Ryan's a thing there in Denver, but again, it's only 2 weeks. Javonte Williams is a guy that, again, the Broncos are really high on. He's looked good, and plus you get Hollywood Brown. So I think is a very I wouldn't say comparable, but it's a nice segue from Nico to Hollywood. And then again, Elijah Mitchell is the backup to CMC. Although it is worth noting too that Shanahan did say they need to get Elijah Mitchell more involved. And that was not the game script for CMC to see that many carries in that game, which kind of sounds crazy to me, but whatever.
Aha, that's right. Okay. Yeah, Javonte, it's been a dualistic backfield at the least. So I like Perrine this year. So love Samaji. Urine, Perrine. I'm not calling him. It's a joke from my mom a long time ago. Is my mom still here? Hey, Mom, you still here? Remember that? She might be gone right now. So, yeah, I'm 43 years old in my mom's house. That's a fact. We can lock that in, actually. But then Hollywood, by the way, Mr. Marquise Brown, I wanted to pull him up because he's just an afterthought right now because Arizona's a nightmare to a lot of people. But, 10 targets on Sunday, week 2. He's going to get targets. This team sucks. They're going to be behind. That's going to matter. So I think I'm with you. I think I like the deal. I like getting Hollywood and Javonte. That's fine. I love Nico Collins, and I like Eli Mitchell. This could end up being real tight. It could be regrettable. I think it's actually really, really close, and especially with one full-point PPR between Nico Collins and Hollywood. But Hollywood's going to get more targets, I think, than Nico, just because there's a lot of receivers in Houston with Robert Woods and Tank Dell and so on and so forth. There's a lot of people to throw the ball around to for C.J. Stroud. I'm just saying.
Yeah, the more and more I look at that trade, I like the trade a lot. So I'm pulling the trigger there, Steven.
All right, we're going to wrap it up here with Kyle Ellis, trade Amari Cooper and Puka for AJ Brown. Remember AJ Brown? He disappeared the first 2 weeks, but apparently it's Jalen Hurts' fault.
AJ Brown. Yeah, never heard of that guy.
I have Chase and Amon. 10-team PPR. So you've already got Jamar Chase and Amon Ra, my guy. Yeah. It's 10-team. So you're giving up Amari Cooper and Puka to get AJ Brown. AJ Brown is absolutely, you probably do that.
Yeah, I'm probably doing that as well. You're receiving. I assume you're going to be able to start all three of these guys, Kyle, between Chase, the Sun God, and AJB. Yeah, I'm probably pulling the trigger on that.
Yep, he can do that, and it's a 10-team league, so it's shallow. So there's be a lot of guys. It's possible that Amari or similar guys to Amari and Puka could end up being available in a 10-team later on. Maybe. I'm not saying they're going to get dropped, but guys similar of ilk could be available. You get AJ all day. Hunter18 says, any underrated waiver receivers? The tops are Reynolds, Jacoby Myers, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. I don't think my prediction didn't come true from Sunday that I thought JSN would have his first touchdown, Mike. It didn't work out, even though the Seahawks scored 37 points.
Lockett sure looked good, though.
Yeah, I was wrong. I love DK Metcalf. I was anti-Lockett. That was stupid. But I did say, if you go back, remember that video I made? I said start Khalif Raymond, and he had the touchdown. So I'm just trying to look for my validations. What do you think here? Any underrated wide receivers? We already covered some of them. Josh Reynolds, we talked about. Jacoby Myers, concussion protocol. How serious? He got ripped pretty hard week 1. How soon could we be relying on him?
McDaniels did say earlier in the week, and when I say earlier in the week, I mean yesterday, that things are trending in the right direction with him. Take that for what it's worth. It could be coach talk. Hell, any type of improvement is going to be better than what he has. So he still has to pass concussion protocol. But he's a guy I like. He got a lot of targets alongside Devontae Adams if he's available. Of this group, I'd probably rank them. Oh boy, I'd probably go Jacoby Myers 1. JSN 2, Josh Reynolds 3. Michael, what say you?
Yeah, Reynolds is a hot name there. I think you still got to go JSN 1. I think he gets more involved here. There also could be an injury. Lockett could get hurt. That's not a guarantee, of course, but injuries are something that will happen in the NFL. So I'm going to stick with JSN 1. And Myers' concussion freaks me out. I'm going Reynolds 2 and Myers 3, even though Myers looked amazing in week 1. But you're trusting Jimmy G every week to be consistent. We're talking about Jared Goff. I might have problems with. I got way more problems with Jimmy G than I do Goff. That's for damn sure. So you can lock that.
Yeah, and again, we could be going off of the week 1, being a little bit too drunk on that in terms of his production. But who knows?
No, yeah, that's true. And also, you go back and listen to the early part of the show, too, Hunter, for some other receivers we mentioned, some of the people in the live chat. These people are geniuses. They know as much as we do, so listen to them as well. David says, this will be the final one, I think. In a half PPR league with top waiver priority and Puka available, would y'all take Puka or Ford? I would absolutely take Ford over Puka for me in a half PPR with the top waiver priority. That's how much I love Jerome Ford. That's what I would do. I'm going to lock that in.
David, not to make things tougher on you, buddy, but I am going to go Puka here. I just think, again, with the amount of volume that he's getting, and who knows with Kareem Hunt coming in if they add another running back, Puka is going to be the guy, and I still think he has value. We talked about it earlier in the show when Cooper Kupp comes back. But again, I hate being this guy, but it depends on team need. If you need a running back, obviously you want to prioritize Ford. If you need to receive it, go get Puka.
Utah. Give me 2.
Lots of podcasts, 2 L's, 2 Z's. That's us here. We're closing the show. Greg Shrinkin says 12-team PPR, Saquon, Keenan Allen, Khalil Herbert or Tony Pollard, Michael Thomas, Hollywood Brown. Should I accept this trade? So it's Saquon, Keenan, Khalil Herbert for Tony Pollard, Thomas, and Hollywood. This is PPR. David says, thanks, y'all. It does make it tougher, but what a problem to have. That's right. Thanks, buddy. We love your attitude. Greg says I'd be getting the Saquon side on this deal.
Ugh.
Saquon, Keenan, Herbert. I want the Pollard side.
Yeah, I want the Pollard side as well, especially with the ankle injury to Saquon. I like Keenan Allen. I hate Khalil
Saquon's your guy, dude.
I know, but with the ankle injury here, I just want to go on record of saying I hated Khalil Herbert from the get-go in Chicago. The dude can't block. He sucks. I think better times are ahead, but I was out on him at his draft price.
I love Khalil. I love Khalil this year. Hey, do you know who was a scratch on Sunday? It was Donta Foreman, dude. Remember that? I'm just saying.
Yep,
Rashawn Johnson.
Yeah, he's gonna get some looks here. This is really tough for me. The best player in this deal for me is Tony Pollard. You got to hope that Michael Thomas stays healthy. He's been hurt. Hollywood Brown saw some targets, but the team sucks. I'm not about acquiring a guy that's injured. That's my thing. So it's tough for me, but I'm probably going the Tony Pollard side as well.
Yeah, it's a difference between. This is a great point. I'm glad you said that, Mike. Big difference, guys, between acquiring a injured player versus a struggling player. A struggling player could get better, and the injury won't limit him. But with an injury, you don't know if he's going to bounce back. I think that's a key difference when they see someone who's not performing. Those are two variables. Very smart, Mike. I'm really glad you said that. I will say, Keenan Allen's a guy who I hated this year because I just never trusted he's healthy. But I did play him in DFS Sunday because I was like, you know what? He's healthy right now. I took the lesson from Tua in week 1. I'm like, well, Tua's healthy right now. Shit. So when he is in there, he's really good with this offense. And Keenan Allen is available today, so I'm going to play him.
Yep. He asks, Greg real quickly, says, what if it was Mixon instead of Pollard? Would it be a smash accept then? And again, he did say that he'd be getting the Saquon side.
Ooh, that changes things if it's Mixon for me because I am anti-Mixon.
Yeah, if you're swapping out Pollard for Mixon, I'm taking the Saquon side.
Yeah, Mixon's getting older. He's not as explosive as I'd like him to be at this point, and the Bengals are bumming me out right now. So if you turn Pollard into Mixon, I'm out.
Yeah, give me the Saquon side if you're switching Pollard and Mixon there. I want the Saquon side.
Yeah, would it be a smash accept then? Not with Mixon. No. Fuck no.
Right.
Pollard. I don't think it's even a smash. It's just an accept. It's like, I will accept this. Yeah! There's a big difference there too, guys. So many differences in this game that we're pointing out to you guys. That's what we do here at Palazzo Podcast. I want to thank you. It's Mikey G and Mikey V, right? That's us, or Mikey V and Mikey G. I don't give a shit who it is. Make sure you follow MKB Fantasy on Twitter, MJ Govier, Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's. We got the Discord. It's wide open, so if we run out of time here and you want to jump in the Discord, get your questions answered, that's a great place to continue the conversation. It's totally free. And then the Patreon starts with $3. We're going to have our rankings up tomorrow. And then I'll have more DFS lineups for Thursday Night Football, the primetime games. I'd like to do that. It's all coming your way. I swear. Yeah, we got one more. Okay, here it is. Joaquin, the final one.
Hang on real quick before we get into this question. Make sure you guys check us out on Sunday for Sunday's show as well. We're answering all your smart sit questions as well. We're doing that every week. Make sure you guys join us on Sunday as well if you like today's show. Sundays is even more entertaining, right?
10 a.m. Yep. That's right. 10 a.m. supposedly, although I was on at 10:15 because, I make mistakes. But we're shooting for 10 on Sundays. We'll be here regardless, no matter what. I promise you. All right, close it out, then we're just going to leave.
This last question here comes from Joaquin, blah, blah, blah. Trade Waller. Trade Waller, Terry, and Gabe Davis for Debo, Brown, Robinson Jr., and Kmet. Are we talking A.J. Brown?
No, Robinson Jr., I believe. Brian Robinson, your boy.
Right, but he's saying Debo. Who's Brown? Oh,
yeah. Who is Brown? Who's Brown, dude?
Anyways, I want the Debo side. That's me. So.
All right, we're skipping to Juicy then because I don't know. Best wide receiver going forward, Sutton or Nico Collins? Can only keep one. Oh boy. I'm going Nico Collins, man. I'm going Nico Collins. I don't want it to be recency bias either. I really don't. But you trusted Russell Wilson?
Nope. Give me Nico Collins again. Just think he's on the trajectory upward. Sutton's been on the way down. So
as long as Nico's healthy, if he's healthy,
I'm gonna go Nico.
Oh man, Joaquin says Brain Robinson Jr. Well, who's Brown though, man? I swear, did you have Brown? I'm going back to this question. Debo Brown. There's Debo Samuel. I don't know what's going on here. You got to help us. Yeah, we got Juicy and he's happy. See, we make people happy. How about Jugs? What a funny name. Yo, Wilson and Algier for Olave. Yes, lock it in. Smash accept.
Great job.
Immediately. I'm doing that all day.
Yes. Agreed.
Algier's going to fade away. Bijan, barring injury. Bijan is I saw a move at Sunday and I was like, oh shit. This guy's really good. Yeah.
I love him.
I thought there was too much hype brewing, man, and I was like, I got to chill on this, but I think I'm going to have to circle back on that one. Someone I even respect said that he made a move that was similar to Barry Sanders-esque Sunday. I was like, whoa, I got to find that ASAP, because if that's true, then holy shitballs. I hope it's not Joaquin says it was a typo, so no Brown then? It's just Brown Robinson Jr. I see what he was trying to say. Brown Robinson Jr., but he meant Brian Robinson Jr.
All right.
That's
so Waller, Terry, and Gabe Davis for Debo, Brian Robinson, and Kmet. I still want the right side. I want Debo and Brian Robinson and Kmet over those guys. That's
I think Debo might be toast here, and like he might be too inconsistent. That's a real problem for me. I love Brian Robinson Jr. now, though. He's really getting receiving opportunities and running the ball, and I love Kmet over Waller. Everyone loves Waller, but you can't. I mean, Waller, can he be trusted all the time? I just don't know. I trust Kmet more, even though Fields sucks. I know that sounds strange, but I got to stick with what I know and what I've done my homework on in the preseason here. And yes, I have the right to change my mind, and I should change my mind when I see things that make me change my mind. But I love Gabe Davis, though, man. I think I'm gonna stay with the Waller side by a hair, only because Debo bums me out.
I just like to play. Didn't Debo score a touchdown?
Yeah, but like I'm looking for a guy who can rack up the catches consistently, and he's just not a part of that with Purdy, I don't think. Maybe I'm freaking out. Maybe I need to chill out. Okay, I admit that freely. All right, we're going. This has been fun. Thank you so much. If you want more, come back Sunday, and then in the meantime, the Discord is available. We'll try to post little quick update videos during the week too, talking about players we like. Add this guy now, or when news happens, we'll try to react to it. Right?
Yep, absolutely.
At least that's the dream. Yes. Yep. All right, everybody. We'll send you out. I'll play the video, and then we'll be gone just because, it gives you something to go to bed on. There it is. See you.
Fucking Roethlisberger, the quarterback, was all fucking hug it, chug it, football.